welcome back to the one and only Britlit Discourse. Today, we are going to be talking about medieval drama and theater.
So we're going to start you off on a broad term that covers most of the drama through 925 through 975 AD. This was a time period when plays started coming into the church. This term is liturgical drama. And basically, liturgical performances were often done in the church as part of the service and done on either mansions or plateaus.
Mansions are small scenic structures used for indicating a location or a place. Mansions are similar to a backdrop or a broad view of the journey of a hero, sometimes beginning in the middle and sometimes beginning at the end of the story. Plateaus, on the other hand, are usually a general acting area where most of the acting occurs. It is normally placed either in front of the mansion or off to the side.
Most of the elements of the plays performed were anachronisms. This is just a fancy word that means these plays focused on either past events or previously written material. After several years, the theater began to leave the church and move outside. This was because the plays grew to be too large for the church to handle and essentially grew out of the church.
By 1350, plays were performed in the vernacular as opposed to Latin, which was the primary language used in liturgical drama. As a result, this style of theater became known as vernacular theater. And similar to liturgical drama, it covered all genres performed outside the church instead of inside the church. Now, instead of clerks and priests performing, laymen began playing parts. Laymen were basically people who were not in the church.
And now it's time to move on to pageant wagons and scops. No, not that type of pageant. Performers used pageant wagons for larger, more complicated plays outside, while a scop would go out and act out the smaller skits.
Speaking of outside, once the theater moved outside the church, three distinct genres of vernacular drama formed. Again, vernacular drama was drama outside of the church. These three types of plays were number 1, miracle plays, number 2, mystery plays, and number 3, morality plays. Miracle plays are basically a skit about life, miracles, and martyrdom of a saint. An example of this is St. Nicholas.
St. Nicholas. And you know, a fun fact about miracle plays is that they actually flourished due to the common belief of the time that a saint's dead body or biblical relics could heal or save a person.
Who knew?
I did.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on to mystery plays.
No. What do you think you were doing?
These mystery plays mainly had to do with the mysteries of the universe and answering questions like, why are we here? What is the meaning of life? And what is going on with the Denver airport? These skits, however, mainly focused on biblical mysteries such as Adam and Eve, the murder of Abel, and the Last Judgment.
And last but not least in vernacular drama is the morality play. These are allegorical dramas where characters personify moral qualities. They also center around a hero, such as mankind, whose weaknesses are attached to the forces of evil.
That's right. But evils, such as the 7 deadly sins, among other sins that are not just as deadly. Besides, I know you love these sins. We talked about them in Pierce Plowman. You got this.
Yes, you do. Okay. My turn?
You may proceed.
Okay. But good triumphs over evil, and the character chooses redemption. He asks for the aid of such beings as the 4 daughters of God. And these beings are and represent truth, justice, mercy, and peace.
Another important style of drama is commedia dell'arte. Yes, say it with me, besides you two. Commedia dell'arte.
Commedia dell'arte.
Commedia dell'arte.
Commedia dell'arte.
Okay, one more time because I know some of y'all didn't say it. Commedia dell'arte.
Commedia dell'arte.
Oh, very good. Muy buene. Damn macho. Okay. All right. So, while this style of drama was mainly done in Italy, we thought it was important to share because, one, while it was mostly in Italy, it was performed during medieval times, and
2, it is really the only secular and comedic plays done during this era. All the rest still had their roots in the church. And 3rd, this theater, in my opinion, has had the most impact on our society today.
one of the ways we see this theater in our society today is through, drumroll please, situational comedies. Or, as all of you had heard it, I hope you have, sitcoms!
Sitcoms.
Yes, that's right.
These comedies were any standard play that used improvisation and incorporated stock characters. Stock characters were any recognizable character, and the actor who played a specific stock character usually spent a lifetime playing and performing these characters.
These situational comedies also included a lot of lassie, which was just silly bits of stage business and flat, dry jokes. Some common elements found in vernacular drama are farces, moralities, mumming and disguising, as well as interlude and masks. Farces often involve buffoonery and horseplay, along with very improbable definitions and jokes. Now, I know this is a lot of vocabulary, but we're going to get through it all.
Stick with us. Moralities are allegories based on classical gods. Now, notice the little g, and heroes as well. Then they often contain some political content. Not Hillary Clinton, not Donald Trump. Old political content. You ready?
Mumming and disguises are pantomimes given at wealthy homes and holidays. It was basically rent-a-skit. Rent your skit now. Sure.
This isn't sponsored.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have the money for any sponsors.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Finally, interludes and masks were performed between courses at a banquet. Masks were specific allegorical compliments to the guest, often performed with intricate dances and spectacles.
Moving on to props, the first and arguably the most important prop is the register. Ching. No, not that register. Basically, the master copy of the script was called the register, and the person who kept the register was in an important position and held great power over the script.
Next up, we have the Master of Secrets. Now, this person was in charge of all these special effects, which were usually kept a secret to the audience. Hence the name, the Master of Secrets. Get it? Okay. One technique that took a lot of skill to do was flying, and they mainly only used this effect for the angels.
While we're on the topic of angels, a common stage setting would have been to have heaven on stage right and hell on stage left, with earth just sandwiched in between the two. Earth was just the main acting performance area, and everything else was just the mansions and the plateaus. But Earth was usually plateau because that's just where all the acting happened. And there were also platforms covered in cotton, which often had angels on them, and these platforms were referred to as glories because of like, glory, hallelujah, we sing glory forever.
Moving on. Trapdoors were commonly used for appearances and disappearances. One example is when Lot's wife turned into a pillar of salt. Masks were also used as a part of the Commedia dell'arte, and each mask represented a different emotion or stock character, as we mentioned earlier.
Okay. And finally, there is the Hellmouth. This prop was a fire-breathing monster that represented hell and all its wrath. Well, I guess it's starting to come to the end of
Yeah.
our Brit Lit discourse. And yeah, so we talked about liturgical drama, which is drama done inside the church.
Yes.
Vernacular drama, which was done outside the church. And we talked about the morality plays, miracle plays, mystery plays. And of course, Commedia dell'arte. Yes, I know you said it. No, you said it. And we also covered the props and the script and all that jazz. So
Master of the script and Master of the secrets.
right, that's correct. And I guess we'll leave you on that note.
Farewell
and good night.